Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a video about two battery mowers that I have, their comparisons of what my personal opinion is about. So here we go. The Hart versus the Ego. I bought the Ego a couple months ago, and I've had the Hart a bit over, I'd say almost a year. Now the difference between these two is the Ego is a 21-inch. The Hart is a 20-inch. Now the batteries are both 6 amp 40 volt batteries, and they are both very easy to use. The Ego has a lot more features. Say it has LED headlights. It's got all of this stuff right here to help you out with stuff, and it's the same with the adjustable with the height for the blades for both, which is always really nice. Now the batteries are a little bit different. The Hart battery, well, obviously it is a lot smaller than the Ego. The Ego actually has a pretty big battery to it. It's got more torque than the Hart, but the Hart still does a really good job. The only downfall about, I believe, the Hart batteries is this thing right here. This thing right here tends to mess up more than anything with the battery, because when you put it in the Hart, it has to do a click noise, and if it doesn't click properly, it won't run the mower, which is the only issue I see about with these batteries. Other than that, I've had no issues with them, to be honest with you. The Ego doesn't have that. If you noticed, they made it designed that there's nothing like that to tear up on it. All it does is slide into the mower. So this is what it looks like inside. See, you just put it in like this, and that's it. I mean, both of them are very simple to put in. I'll show you how the Hart goes in. Excuse for the camera, it's hard to do this with one hand, but you just slide it in like this. You hear that though? It didn't want to snap, because that thing just is the only, so you got, there you go. That's the only thing I see about with the battery comparison. They both have good power. The Ego does have a little bit more power though than the Hart. Ego is a little bit more of an expensive mower. The brand has been around a little bit longer than Hart. Hart is not as old as Ego, but they're still decent. They're both really good mowers in my opinion. And the only thing downfall about Hart is that for the past couple months, I have not been able to get a blade replacement for the 20-inch. You go online, and they're just nowhere to be found. They said they're out of stock. And I've even called the company like 4 or 5 times for the past 2 months, and I have not had any results of them getting me a new blade. So I don't know what's going on with that. I'm hoping that they'll be able to resolve it. Who knows how long they've been out of stock. They might have been out of stock before I even started calling and asking. So that's the only downfall about the Hart mower for right now, is you cannot get a replacement blade for it, which I think is kind of odd. The good thing about the Ego is it has multiple different types of blade options. You can get a high lift blade, a mulching blade, even an energy efficient blade, which apparently makes it so it does not require the battery to use as much power, so it can run longer, which I think that's very interesting. So this is just a video comparing the two battery mowers. I'm hopeful that this video will help anyone who's really thinking about getting battery mowers. Honestly, I love them because gas, I just never cared for having to go to the gas station and get gas, non-ethanol gas, and having to do oil and spark plugs and filters. It just another thing is battery mowers, they can cost more than certain gas mowers, but you got to think about there's less to work on them over time. I mean, all you have to replace is the blade, and that's almost just about it. Or if something happens with the battery, the good news is both Ego and the Hart have very good with their policies, and also with their warranties for the batteries. So it's kind of hard to beat battery lawnmowers nowadays. Back in the day, they didn't have the power like gas has, but now I've become a pretty strong believer in battery equipment. So I hope this video is helpful to anyone out there who's interested in starting to really get into the battery equipment. Please leave a like and comment below, and I'll see you in the next video.